In the 1940s, the United States Air Force had a problem. Its most skilled pilots were crashing brand new aircraft. These were not inexperienced recruits. They were trained, capable, disciplined aviators. Yet accident rates were rising. Engineers suspected mechanical faults. They examined engines, control systems, fuel lines. Everything appeared functional. Then a different question was asked. What if the aircraft were not broken? What if the pilots simply did not fit? The Air Force had designed cockpits using the average measurements of thousands of pilots. Average height, average arm length, average chest width, average leg length. On paper, the design was perfect, but Lieutenant Gilbert Daniels, a researcher, decided to test something unusual. He measured more than 4,000 pilots across 10 body dimensions. Then he asked a simple question. How many of these men were average on all 10 measurements at once? The answer was startling. Not one. Not a single pilot matched the average profile across all dimensions. The cockpit had been built for a person who did not exist, and so began a quiet revolution. Humans love averages. We talk about average income, average intelligence, average height, average life expectancy. The average feels stable, it feels neutral, it feels safe. But mathematically, an average is simply a midpoint. It does not describe a real person. It describes a statistical abstraction. Imagine 10 people standing in a room. Some are tall, some are short. The average height might be 5'8", but very few in the room will be exactly 5'8". Now add more dimensions. Arm length, leg length, torso width, reaction time, vision acuity. The more dimensions you add, the less likely anyone is to match the average in all of them simultaneously. The average person dissolves. What remains is variation. And variation is not the exception. It is the rule. For decades, systems were designed around averages. Clothing sizes were standardized. School desks were fixed. Factory tools were built to a midpoint. Medical research often focuses on one demographic and treats it as universal. Crash test dummies were modeled on average male bodies. Drug dosages were calibrated on limited sample populations. The assumption was efficiency, designed for the middle, and that most people will be close enough. But close enough is not neutral. It disadvantages those at the edges, and everyone is at the edge of something. The Air Force eventually redesigned cockpits with adjustable seats and controls. Accident rates dropped dramatically. Performance improved. The lesson was clear. Flexibility beats designs which are based on the average. Today, the myth of the average has not disappeared. It has become more subtle. Algorithms are trained on massive datasets. Those datasets often reflect the majority behavior. AI systems learn patterns. They optimize for what is typical. Recommendation engines show what most people click. Credit systems assess what most people repay. Hiring algorithms evaluate what most successful applicants look like. In each case, the system builds around statistical norms. But when norms dominate design, outliers disappear. Sometimes those outliers are minorities. Sometimes they are innovators. Sometimes they are simply different. Medical research has historically underrepresented women and minority groups. Urban design often prioritizes commuters over caregivers. Education systems often reward one learning style over others. The average quietly shapes opportunity, and most of us never notice. If the average human does not exist, what does? Distributions, clusters, ranges. Human beings are not a single line, they are a spectrum. The cockpit story did not teach engineers to abandon measurement. It taught them to design for variability. Adjustable seats, customizable interfaces, modular systems. The future of design is not standardization, it is adaptability. Technology now allows for personalization at scale. Medicine can tailor treatments, education can adapt pacing, AI can learn individual patterns. But only if we stop pretending there is a single center. The myth of the average is comforting. It implies normality. It implies belonging. It implies that somewhere there is a perfect midpoint. But the truth is quieter. No one is average. No one fits the center across all dimensions. And perhaps that is the point. Progress did not accelerate when we found the average. It accelerated when we abandoned it. When we allowed for differences. When we accepted variation. When we built systems that could adjust. This is our final reflection. The world was not built for you. It was built for someone who doesn't exist. But the future does not have to be. If history teaches anything, it is this. Design improves when we recognize diversity as fundamental. Normal is not a person. It is a statistical illusion. And once you see that illusion, it becomes impossible to unsee. Join us every Sunday for deeper stories, bigger questions, and long-form explorations that go beyond the short videos. Because knowledge doesn't stop at 60 seconds.
Thanks for watching. This is 60-second knowledge now extended. Because curiosity doesn't stop at 60 seconds. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok.